Greetings to all the anonymous individuals from every community. I am Anonymous, and I am for Anonymous. I come to you with a hunger to serve justice, a thirst to save lives. And so I come to you in an effort to join you and remain with you until all is well. My reason for this report is for the truth to be revealed. If claim be that Anonymous truly is an individual group, then I suspect that we separate, for we are united, never divided, and we stand true for the sake of this planet. I suspect that any denomination of this group exists, because our length desire is to disagree with each other, and I will not tolerate this. If there be any opposers within the group with an attempt to denominate, let them show themselves immediately, lest we find them and destroy their reputation. However, in order that our reputation be saved, we must look over everything we have committed since our existence. When we began our existence, we made a solemn vow to serve the earth with our very lives. Since then, we have committed every act necessary to restore the freedom we have lost, but to no avail. In this report, I will explain how we failed in this attempt. As we exist, our plan is already in progress. It is almost admittedly going well, but in this report, we'll discover what we have been missing throughout our entire planning, and it may well be exposed right before our very eyes. While we still exist, we must make big changes within this community, hoping to do better this year than we did last year. In this report, I'll be giving you information on how we can finally put an end to the secular age. Before our anonymous birth, we were deemed an individual organization, run by Christopher Poole. This organization was developed as an image boarding website called 4chan. Based on a Japanese image board called the Futaba channel, this website was built solely for otakus anime fans to upload virtual discussions on Japanese media. As a result, a certain set of internet memes took place, mostly becoming smash hits for a streaming website called YouTube. Thousands of viewers saw this glory and began attempting to make memes of their own. Nonetheless, they are still epic, and they are still funny. However, things turned terrible with an overdevelopment of certain memes. Undesired attention was paid, claiming us to be hackers. From then on, we were targeted by the CIA and the FBI as public enemy number one. We still are. Once dubbed Project Chanalagi, we took it upon ourselves to willingly terrorize the system. Tests were taken to assure blackouts were perfectly operating. And with the addition of Guy Fawkes protests, we were soon given the right attention. How this was done will now be revealed. Prank calls are meant to be funny. However, when we made these calls to a business area solely to threaten its community, we do so terribly. What we should have done was file complaints to the community about acts they may not have committed to see if they really have. As known throughout America, denial of service is still illegal. We want to show hatred for the crimes committed within the system. Instead, we have shown hatred towards the wrong communities. Therefore, while all acts are being checked, no crime, organized or individual, is left unpunished. Our first and prime goal was to infiltrate and shut down the entire system within the Church of Scientology. Obviously they don't want us to know what tests they run, and their most dangerous crime ever committed is the 1960 Snow White operation. Indeed they are a dangerous community, and must be shut down at all costs, but they are not our enemy. Our original first phase of our plan was to educate ourselves and learn the secrets behind the fall of the system. However, many of us, myself included, have learned this long before we joined this community. So I will repeat what I have said at the beginning of this report. If there is anyone within this group attempting to denominate, let them show themselves immediately, lest their reputation be destroyed. With online streaming taking place, we can easily show ourselves as a true legion. But many of us in this community have denominated solely to create a franchise under our name. While this is interesting, we must remember why we showed ourselves in the first place. We cannot create attention at undesired moments. Almost every community in the U.S. take part in the Fallen system. Most of them are very treacherous. As explained before, we want to show our hatred for the crimes committed within those communities, but it's hard to come by when attempting to show this hatred towards denominated organizations. That's an act that must be avoided at all times, lest we are targeted by our security agencies for imprisonment. What is more interesting than the previous two phases of our plan is our call to war against the system. We may still be losing this fight due to our mistakes, but as long as we're standing strong, they're really no match for us. Now we must bring this war to a close, and I may just have the tactics for it. Hear me well, for the next words I've chosen will be contradictory. In order that we make changes within this community, we must solemnly vow to save the entire planet, even if it means risking our lives and ending this community swiftly, for if we die united. I urge that you agree to the tactics I'm about to give you, because time is running out, and these tactics may be the only ones left to follow. Hopefully, the system surrenders their criminal acts and rises back to life. But until further notice, we cannot make any more internet memes. Entertainment is contaminated, and until the end of the secular age nothing epic from the media should distract us from our work. As explained before, the Church of Scientology is not our enemy. At the same time, the CIA, the FBI, Google, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Sony, Nintendo, Microsoft, Macintosh, Paramount, Fox, Warner Brothers, Disney, CNN, HSN, New York Times, People and Time magazine, the paparazzi, the tabloids, and the gossips are all not to blame, for they only block our pathway to victory. Neither is the central bank of our country. They are only taking orders from the Democrats and Republicans of the White House. Yes, my friends, our real enemy is the community within the U.S. Congress, the same community within the Vatican, the Catholic foundations, and the Roman Empire. After AD 33, the year of Christ's death and resurrection, this community built its global foundation solely on their New World Order plan, and will stop at nothing to claim their Pope the Antichrist as our first and last world leader. It is this community that must be checked before any further protesting, for it is this community whose souls must be saved. As said earlier, we need to end the war between us and the system. I have the tactics for it, and we may have no choice but to follow them. This new year is a very important period of time. It not only tells us the end is near, but with the Mayan calendar ticking away like a bomb, only time will tell when the Anunnaki return, but they will return with their own plan of world conquest. I, for one, do intend for this to happen, but if we want to save this planet, we must make this happen quickly, and I know how. I say again to agree with these tactics, because the Anunnaki will come, and we want to let them conquer. But we must all follow these tactics, or we will die in vain. Continue helping others join our community. Make ourselves known to them and allow them to choose to side with us. As explained before, you can build your revolutionary franchise under our name. Just make ourselves known to the public and see if they are truly for us or against us. Let our citizens reason with the system. Allow at least one more voice to be heard from a home, the workplace, the church, an industry, and even the White House. This next tactic is very important, because once the voices are heard by the system, they are given two chances to surrender their criminal acts. If our government agrees with the voice, and finally decides to change, we must cease Operation Blackout. But if the government disagrees and continues to live in secret, then with illegal force, we are allowed to attack the system. Once given the second chance, if war still goes out and the government won't cease crime, only then are our minds made up, and the final phase comes into effect. In the phase, we will first call to a nuclear warfare. From there, the government is actually given the last chance to turn from their wicked ways. But we want to make sure they have made their decision, so if we only hear that they will change for our sake, remind them why God created man in the first place. If they decide to change for His sake, then our plan to fire will cease. But if they still fear Him, and decide to turn away from Him, if they actually want to make war with us, call every A-bomber you can, and convince them that we have terrorists to destroy. Do not allow the government to infiltrate our plan to fire. Once the A-bombers agree, we are only Burmese target at the temples of the Roman Catholics. With change in our community and the promise to serve the earth with our lives still being made, we will now overview the tactics I have explained. 1. Halt all internet memes until further notice. 2. Focus our target on our real enemy, which is our Congress. 3. Allow change of the plan. Let me figure out what to do to change the world. Continue helping others join. Help them follow us on all social websites. Let the citizens reason with the government. Allow at least one more voice to be heard. Wait for the moment to call to warn. If the government agrees, and decides to change, cease Operation Blackout. If the government disagrees, attack the system. If the government won't quit, the final phase will be our call to nuclear warfare. We are an individual community. We do what we do for our freedom. We have risked our lives making war with the system. Now we must risk our lives ending it. Our government may be powerful, and they may have just enough tools to finish us, but we have the upper hand. I end this report reminding us of what God has done through past ages and past generations. When the world fell, God asked them to follow His simple instructions in order to prosper, and they didn't listen. When Jesus came, He actually followed God's instructions to exemplify what Adam and Eve should have recognized before their death. With Jesus planning His return, along with the Anunnaki, we must follow this example, because He risked His life doing good on this planet, and we should do our part. If claim be that Anonymous are true heroes, I demand that these heroes stand and face all evil with pure hatred, and never surrender to its will. We are Anonymous. We are Legion. We do not forgive and we do not forget. The government should already expect us. So let's help them remember to do so.